Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 11 of the Dream Podcast. Okay, so this is just an intro actually because I am going to include a talk that I had with my friend Siobhan last week because she had a really crazy dream in which we were working together. And then things ended up in chaos and stuff, and but then, everything was good again. Luckily, like it was just such a crazy dream that she had. I think, there was so many codes in there and so many things that brought up all these conversations that we're having lately and people just coming into our lives. I think it's amazing. And so I just wanted to say also that I just love how things are coming together. And I've seen this happen so many times in my life now that it's like, oh, here we go again. Let's see what happens, if this time it's here to stay, or it just might all collapse again. I don't know, but I don't know if you guys have had these experiences in your life where you're on your journey, you feel like you're coming together with other people, and then all of a sudden it's like when you're going to the next level, that all falls apart. It's like your reality literally falls apart. So I'm like, okay, this is the, I guess you could say this is the contraction part of the journey, and then there's like expansion. There's constant contraction and expansion in this universe. So yeah, I'm like, I always express gratitude for the connections and everything, and I get all excited and thinking, yeah, we're gonna do things and stuff, and sometimes, yeah, and then we do things maybe for a little bit, and then boop, it's like, oh, now here's another level to the game, or another reality to live. And I've literally been living this since I started this journey of spiritual growth, seeing things fall apart all the time. It's like my constant, like, I don't know. It's somebody told me, yeah, you're constantly evolving. I could like see it, and they were like looking into my, I guess, some people do have this capability of looking a little bit into what possible timelines could happen based on what's happening now. And they were like, yeah, I was looking at that this, and then they're like, when is this ever gonna end? Like, you're always transforming. I'm like, yeah, I'm not the same person I was a month ago or 2 months ago. I think a lot of us tend to yeah, stay stuck, and I know I was stuck, before I decided to start the journey of personal growth and spirituality, science, not only, spirituality, but yeah, quantum morphogenetics, all the stuff that I started bringing into my life. Since then, it's been this constant, like, just yeah, like I said, it's like destruction and renewal, but in a nice way, because I don't resist it or anything anymore. At first it was like, oh my god, my world is falling apart, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't feeling good, and it's like you just want to leave this planet. But after that you're like, oh, okay, well, that's what it is. And you learn to embrace it and to really appreciate that. And also, I was, talking with Siobhan as well, as like to how there's so many people that want to do things right now, and it seems like we're all like dispersed. But I was like, yeah, but look at what we're doing in dreams. Like, we're doing so many things in the metaphysical. It's just so amazing. Like, even last night, I had a dream in which I was doing a live with someone I know and a few other people, and we were going to teach people how to erase the matrix. That was so funny. And I told them, I was like, yeah. And then someone said, yeah, we can erase the matrix. I'm like, of course we can. Like, we're already doing it in dream state. This is already happening. This is just another reality, right? So I was like, yeah, I was like, "Yeah, that's so cool." Like, how I'm meeting even more people lately as well that are resonating with the same kind of ideas, even though, yeah, we have our differences and stuff. But and I also see that people are working on different things, like, and it's like the thing is going to converge, perhaps, at some point. And I think, okay, this is how I feel like it's happening right now, is that I feel like I am getting to the point where there are going to be people that are going to be more permanently in my life. And somebody even told me this a few months ago, and they're like, yeah, by the end of the year, you're supposed to meet your tribe or something, like your real tribe or something. I know I've met already a few people that are going to stick around, but like I said, I'm not like, let's not also what's it called, get like attached, to people or to ideas, because it's like we tend to grab onto the first ideas that come to mind. It's like, oh, this is what I want. Oh, this is what it's going to be like. Oh, I'd love this to happen. And then you get attached to that, and then when your world ends up being destroyed over again, you're like, oh my god. I was like, oh, why, but but yeah, so I'm just saying, right? I'm excited about what's happening now. Like I've said this in my previous podcast, like you take it for what it is, you appreciate the connections, and there's so much happening. Like I said, in the metaphysical, it's just crazy. It's just like I feel like I'm talking to people sometimes without even really saying anything here. So that is really cool, because you really learn to trust that the what we would call direct. It's like every time I answer these calls when it's an unknown number, it's like it's people like selling me stuff. Anyway, they can leave a message if it's important. I really don't ever answer the phone if I don't know the number. So if you guys try to call me, well, I don't give out my number to everybody either. But like, you've got to have my number. If not, I'm not gonna answer. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so much is happening, right? Um, Hold on. Somebody's telling me I have an appointment with Madame Vallée. Oh my gosh! Like seriously, I don't know. I get so many calls, like, or texts from people that I don't know so often. I know that, like, I guess these companies recycle phone numbers a lot. I know it's lame. Anyway, of course they do. But yeah, and I did change my number, like, I don't know, a couple years ago, and sometimes maybe it's people that I don't have in contacts anymore that rate me. I don't know, but like I just, like I said, we evolve, and then we kind of grow away from, or like, how's it called, outgrow certain relationships, right? So it's okay. It's not like, we hate each other or anything. It's just like, okay, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and now I'm moving on to work with other people that are more aligned to what I'm doing. And so like what I was saying too, like I think it was yesterday I did a live, or no, I don't remember. Anyway, that so many of us are working on building things, right? And I'm one of those people, and I know that there's like stuff that I'm like still like I guess developing from within, that I'm just like, okay, let's see what else comes through, and it's like this feeling, right, of like you're in a bubbling pot, and it's like making something, or like a cake, like I was saying, you're just making a cake and it's in the oven, you're just like um and I shared this really funny dream I had about cakes, because I thought that was really pertinent. And it's like, yeah. So, and then after, I feel like for me, at least in my personal journey, I'm attracting people that I need in my life to either catalyze or to transmute certain things. And then once that's done, and once I really get like a focus on something specific, because right now I am bringing in things, right? A lot of you are, and but it's still not. And I was just like, it's still not unique. I don't know. This is just me. This is how I feel. And I'm like, okay, so in the meantime, we're working like in directly with each other. And then later on, there will be something more specific, more grounded, more focused, I think, for me. And then I'm going to collaborate with people, because I've turned I'm much of more of a loner lately, I guess. I don't like working in groups. I've tried it several times. Every time I try it, it's like the same thing. It's like the universe telling me, nope, that's not where you belong. And I've never belonged anywhere. It's just sometimes I'm just frustrated about that, but I'm like, no, it's fine. It's not about belonging in a group. It's just about these connections, right? And seeing with who you can converge eventually in certain aspects to build something new, or I feel more like, for me, I'm gonna build myself something and then collaborate. I love collaborations. I just love that. That way you're not like completely dependent on anybody else for what you're doing, and then maybe for a couple weeks or so. But yeah, no, unless there's maybe a great idea that comes up, in which, yeah, maybe we'll create a company together, or do a huge event, and then from that something else is going to stem from that, and maybe we're going to be working together all the time. I don't know, that's a possibility too. But I do like having my independence in that sense. And then because then it gets to the point sometimes where I feel like you get absorbed into other people's games too much, and I do think we all have like our own unique gifts that we're developing, and then we can like put them together, you know. So that I see that happening right now, and it's really cool because some people are like more like I guess what's it called, more into like the whole technical stuff. Some are like design or math or like geometry, programming, whatnot. Others are more like communication, like, you know, like me, for example. And I, you know, we can also have a mix of both, right? But and then what do you like doing the most, right? It's like telling someone like, yeah, I could be good at that, but it's not that I don't like it, you know? Like it's like I don't know, maybe I'll like it later, who knows. But you know, it's like, no, that's never really been my thing, you know. And then for me it's like dreams and psychology and a little bit business because I did business, you know, for my master's. But that was just, I think that was just to get me some skill sets or something, I don't know. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy that much business. I'm still not good with like, you know, the whole money thing is just like not my thing. But I, you know, I took it because I knew that I wanted, like I wanted to learn something. I wanted to step out of my comfort zone, and I was like, that'll probably also bring me some financial stability. I don't know, but I've never been financially stable. You know, I've been up and down all the time, all my life, and I talk about this with Siobhan too. So I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm gonna leave it to the next clips are gonna be our talk. As I asked, hey, can we record this? Because I love the dream she told me about before, and I was like, I want to have this. And I was like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna use it for my next podcast episode. That's how it happened. Just happened organically. You know, these things just happen like that. You don't have to necessarily plan anything too much or whatnot. You just sometimes it just flows, right? And it's like, bam, you just want to do that and then you do it. So yeah, is there anything else I want to add before I introduce this clip here? No, I don't think so. If otherwise, I'll add something towards the end. But yeah, okay. I just wanted to record this intro, and yeah, I hope you guys are doing amazing. Today it is. Oh, I forgot to say the day. Oh, whatever. It's, what is it, July 25th, 2022, and it's 10:10 a.m. here in Paris, France. Well, near Paris, France. I'm not in Paris, but near Paris, France. We're like at 21 degrees today. Got really more chilly all of a sudden. That's nice. Yeah, so I hope you guys are having an amazing time wherever you are, and see you soon. All right, enjoy the talk. Let's Okay, so let me just record this part where, yeah, first you were like saying that you saw me creating a portal where I brought in all my probable selves into this timeline through a motherboard. Can you show the picture again?
Yes.
That was so crazy.
This is kind of what it looked like. So if like a computer motherboard, this was a big chip, and this was you. This is just your data for just you. But then all these little parts came off, which are all the different yous in their different timelines and multiverses.
Okay.
So you showed me that, and then we actually traveled to see them like in their place, but they were all here in this universe or this timeline that you and I are in now, this reality. And so
So like literally if we traveled to another country, I would find the rich me, for example, and then
yeah, we were going around the earth and we were just
through portals.
Yeah, through portals. Like all these like amazing colorful portals we just go through, and then whoop, we were there, you know.
Oh my gosh. And they were like the colors of the rainbow or something?
They were all different colors. Like generally when I see portals, they're like blues and pinks and like iridescent, like pearl type colors. So we did that, but this is the freaky part, okay? Because you know, I feel like I was like, you were super excited, but I was like, I was a bit like, I don't know if this is what's the word, great for cosmic law. I was like a little apprehensive about all these portals and stuff. So
and I was like super proud of myself. Like I managed to bring all my probable selves until this time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I was like really proud of you as well, because we've been working together, it seemed like, for a while in this dream. But as it wore on, I started to think that this wasn't a good idea. So that night I left you and I went back to my apartment, and So what happened was, because you'd opened all these portals and timelines, you'd caused a rip in the fabric of the universe, and you would let through demonic entities from like hell. And they came for me. And
Like,
they
oh,
took,
I'm just making a mess. I'm making a mess. You deal with that. So horrible.
they took me to the like lowest realm of hell, and they shackled me up in these huge like iron steel things, and they were like, that's it, you're here now, like you can't get out. And I was thinking, shit. Okay. And it was like hellish demons, and they were just taunting me because I couldn't escape. So I had to like go really deep into myself and connect to source. And I said, if I could use the help of all the me's and have all that power right now, you know, full on Christ consciousness, let's blow this out. And that worked. I managed to like, it was like the most radiant light just shot out of me.
Wow.
And these things like shot off my wrists and everything. I was able to get out. But then I had to climb and climb and climb and climb all the way back up to this like reality, out of this time, this rip in space. And I managed to do it. I got out. That was the end of the dream. Like that was the last bit. I saw like the city skyline of like London, and I knew that I had like got out of this like pit of hell basically.
Oh my gosh.
But that was my dream.
That is super intense and super elaborate, and like that. Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I'm just so surprised at how things are just so like linked. Like I've been saying, and this just, you know, things come to prove time and time again. And then the fox thing, and
the fox.
Yeah, and then because Doctor Strange, just I've heard, just I watched the other ones, or no, maybe I think I watched one of them. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but I did find it like super cool how he opens up portals and stuff. And then they told me, yeah, in dreams, like he was saying, how they work, and that's literally what it is. It's different dimensions and all. And then what was I gonna say? So yeah, so what I'm thinking is, yeah, there were like dots there, right? It's like follow the red fox. So it's all linking back to dreams. Right? It's like the main theme is like dreams, right? So you've seen two red foxes. Now I know it's fox.
Fox eye. No, it's
fox eye. No,
I like that though.
I found it funny though that I was doubting in that moment, because you wrote down fox, and if I would have said baby foxes, it would have not have matched what you wrote down.
Right? Yeah.
But I said this is fox. You know, I said that.
Yeah, I remember.
This is fox. So yeah, I think that was it. You know, there was, and then I was like coming back thinking, no, it's foxes. Why am I doubting myself right now?
God.
You know,
like it's such a dialogue that you had over this small, seemingly insignificant thing, but now it's actually become a huge thing for what we're doing, you know?
Exactly.
Like, isn't that mad?
I know. So yeah, that's two that you've seen, and I'm thinking maybe there's gonna be other ones, or I don't know. And then because I just got like the image of a triangle for some reason in my mind, and that they mean the word dreams in the middle. So
oh, that's cute.
I'm gonna draw that because I think that's important for some reason. Let's see what comes up from that.
Yeah. But I just find it so fascinating that you and I were having this call this morning, and that all transpired last night, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Because we said we were going to call each other today.
Yes.
And then I remembered in the morning, I was like, oh, yes, I need to tell her that we need to call. And
yeah, because, well, like I said to you, I wasn't going to watch that film. I was actually going to watch Batman, not Spider-Man. But something told me to watch Spider-Man, and I was like, okay, fine. And then when I saw him with the cup, I was like, oh, okay.
Wow. Okay, so that was in this. Okay, yes. So I'm confusing it because, like you said, Doctor Strange, he wasn't holding that cup in the film Doctor Strange. He was holding it in the Spider-Man movie.
In Spider-Man, yeah.
How is he in the Spider? Why is he there? Like, how did he?
Basically, Spider-Man, he gets stuck Well, no, I tell you what happens is they do a spell, right? Doctor
Mhm.
Strange does a spell which opens up all the other worlds. And so all the villains that Spider-Man has ever fought
Oh, okay.
come through, but they obviously there's been different Spider-Mans, as you know, from all the films.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to get their help to come through into this universe to help him stop all these villains that he's never fought before. So it's basically like a culmination of all of the films that have come out from Spider-Man. But Doctor Strange is there because obviously he can bend time, and Peter Parker needed this spell to do whatever, but it all went wrong. So
okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that's the thing with Marvel, like they're really going on this multiverse thing because they know that you can kind of get away with anything and bring people back, and oh, they're not dead, they're in this film now, you know. It's a very easy thing for them then to be able to use it. So Doctor Strange was in this film, but you know, I'm for that because I freaking love Doctor Strange. He's my favorite.
Nice. You know what I was just thinking when you were saying that is that yeah, like they know how to use this already. It's like they've been manipulating things in the multiverse or whatnot since forever ago. And and it's like it feels like, you know, at some point apparently in history we got our memories wiped as to what things we could do, and they're still doing those things, and then they come up. And I was listening to was it a live on Instagram the other day about they make us think that, you know, these things are like the most the coolest technology ever, and now they're coming up with even more, and every time it feels like, oh, how are we advancing, this is so amazing, but it's just, you know, like that's like nothing compared to like
this is freaking like old and ancient in comparison to the technology that we know is available, like but it's an interesting point because at the very end of the film, in order for Peter Parker to exist, he has to agree that everyone's memory of him is erased. And that includes his girlfriend, his best friend. So when he sees them at the end of the film, they have no idea who he is. And that kind of got me thinking, like, that's so sad, because that's kind of what happened to us, is we have no memory of our true family, of anything, our powers, you know. And it's like, I just found that a bit sad because
but we're finding each other again, you see.
I know.
That's so
I know.
cool. I had a dream that was talking about that too, about there was I was at a parking lot with some people that I have no clue who they are. I've never seen them in my life. And there was this huge like tsunami or something coming in, and we were like preparing for that because we knew that something big was happening. And it was like I was like the narrator and living it at the same time. And the narrator, so me, said little did they know that after this they would have their memories wiped. I was like, when I woke up from that, I'm like, oh, that's what happened, something like that. I was like thinking about Atlantis and all, but you know, it could have, I don't know, maybe it could have happened like several times in history where we come and then we figure out who we are, we find our friends, and then here you go.
I know, I honestly feel that way, that there is like a reset, like a flood every so often. I do feel that.
Somebody said there's going to be tsunamis coming in.
I mean, I've had a lot of tsunami dreams recently, things like that, and dreams where the whole ground, the earth is shaking, like all across the planet kind of thing. So I don't know, but there could be.
I've heard people like that are, you know, because everybody has their way of kind of like decoding this reality, I guess. We do a lot of that through dreams. That's I think the way I get my intel a lot. It seems like you too. And then I've seen people doing like, you know, adding up the number, like the letters, and getting like, you know, like a code behind it, and they're predicting like dates and stuff of when things are going to happen. But most of the time I think it's looking back and seeing, oh, that makes sense that this event happened at this date because this plus this equals this, and they're all the same numbers, and they're all doing, it's like numerology stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah. And so they were saying that there's probably going to be some tsunamis pretty soon happening in several parts of the world. So I'm like, okay, let's wait and see what happens, right? But
gosh, okay.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking too, even if they don't happen physically, I think in the metaphysical there's a lot of stuff happening, and like parallel realities that are still affecting our consciousness. So we could literally get our memories swiped and like elsewhere and have the effects here, and it's literally like a tsunami. But that's why some people are like, yeah, I don't believe in that, because every time they say something's gonna happen, nothing happens. How do you know it didn't happen somewhere? Or how do you know your memory was swiped? Like your
there's so many different multiverses that for sure everything is happening out there. And I think like that whole picture, maybe that's why that's important, is because like that's each one of us is one of these things. But yet, like you say, we're getting affected by the tsunami here, which is then going feeding into that main bit. Like it's all happening, But then I think this is our source code. Like this can't be interfered with or messed up, I don't feel like, This is safe. But yeah, all of these parts can be affected. So it's like we're constantly juggling, in a multidimensional way. It's so interesting though. I'm still like, what is all this?
I know, right? Yeah, I feel like there's more stuff that's going to be coming in, especially with the dreams, and maybe Fox, or there was also Alice in Wonderland, because I've been getting things about Alice in Wonderland quite a bit. That's so funny.
For me, it was like I was having this kind of meltdown in a way. Just, I don't know if you go through this, where you have periods of like, I'm okay with this, I'm doing what I'm doing, and then you kind of doubt like whose world are we in? Why are we here? Are we in some like mad, insane theme park and we're just trying to like fit in, but we just don't, we're not from here? I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, yeah.
Whole Alice in Wonderland, like we fell into something and we're trying to like find a way out,
Yeah, that makes sense. I had another dream about not fitting in recently, because I've had a lot of those, and it was like I was in an office and I was literally using the Office characters, the series The Office. I was using those.
Yeah.
At some point I was Dwight, the really crazy dude who's just like wanting to kill everyone kind of, but not really. He has like, it feels like he has two personalities going on all the time. Like he wants to do things like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna kill this person, but then he has like his soft side come in and like, oh yeah. So at some point I was this character. That was really weird, because I was like, I went because like I didn't feel like I fit in, just like as usual. So maybe that's why it was him, because he probably feels the same way in the office or something. And I was not feeling comfortable, and plus I arrived with this other girl. Again, it's always people that I don't know. It's like you said, it's like you find each other in dream space, and it's like it feels like they're your friend or something, or part of your family. Sometimes I'm with another family and I'm like, who are you guys?
Yeah, and it's so strange, isn't it? Because you just don't have any memory of them. It's like the Peter Parker having yourself completely wiped out. Like they know who you are, but you're just like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. How heartbreaking.
I know, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, like lately as well, I've just had a lot of dreams where I've seen like a crack in the sky or something like that, and I'm always trying to get out. Like I'm never staying here. I just see it and I'm like, I know that I've got to get out. So it's just a bit confusing.
Oh yeah, I do feel like we're figuring out a way to get out of this one, because even if there are other aspects of ourselves that are living other lives and in places that probably don't have this like prison planet thing going on, we're focused on in this area, like to retrieve this aspect of ourselves. It's like you said, I love the picture, because it's like all these probable selves, and then it's like, well, let's get this one that's here, we got to help her get out. It's like, and then, but I do feel like there's an interaction with all of them, like you said, and even because there's some people that would say, oh, it's all controlled by let's say the infinite eye, they call it, or the motherboard or whatnot. But I do feel like we can also do things to affect the other selves from here. It's not just like that's the thing controlling everything, right? Like a spider, like it's like I have, yeah. So because I feel like I have like done like timeline hops or changes and things that were kind of already written, to happen, or maybe I have ignored certain things and I didn't hop onto a timeline I was supposed to be on. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, stuff like that. So yeah. But the cool thing is that we know that's not just, this is not it. There's so many other things
Yeah.
going on, and that we will find a way to get out of here through a portal or something. I found that super cool that you were mentioning portals, because I've been talking about this since a little while ago, and with the whole ear ringing thing too.
Yes.
My ears were ringing again yesterday, but like very slightly. It wasn't that whole like I'm into but I didn't get, dropped into another reality or anything. It was just really just during the evening at like 7. It was 1919 on my phone. I looked at it. I was like, oh, that's strange. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, so I've been having those a little bit more lately. And I remember, now that I remember, when you told me your ears were ringing, I checked, because I think I had even written it down, but my ears had been ringing like an hour before or so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then yours rang, but that was but it was really slight, so I didn't really take that too much into account. So maybe now we should just write down the time when our ears ring and see if we get like something there. Yeah, and yeah, because it was like right before, and then you texted me that.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, and then yeah, so there's something there that maybe wants to come through. I don't know about the whole ear ringing and the portals, because you said that you also have the same thing where your ears ring and then you're like somewhere else or something. So I've been trying to like induce it. Sometimes I can't, but it's only during the night where I'm like very relaxed or like almost half asleep, and I can induce it like by clenching my jaws.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like you're in that sort of lower brain wave state.
Yeah.
And then you're a bit more loose to be able to like try and do something. Yeah, I understand that. I haven't actually tried to do it like that. I just let it happen when it happens.
Yeah.
But the last few ones have been really like powerful, like they're proper, like your hearing just goes. And in films when someone's been near a bomb or something, and it just like that's how it feels.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like feel into that, because then it's a little bit off-putting, but you're okay, and then it slowly comes back. And sometimes it can last for 10 seconds. I've had like 2 minutes before.
Wow, that's long. Mine never lasts for that long.
That was a random occurrence, but it was long. I remember thinking like, holy shit, is my hearing gone?
Wow.
And do you ever get it where if you stand up really quickly in your third eye, like you get all the like
you see lights and stuff?
Lights and like this crazy visual of like, it looks like static.
No, I haven't got that.
If I do yoga every day, and like if I'm doing like the folding over one, and then you
what's it called, the dog
down dog, up dog, all that stuff, and I'm like this, and then suddenly like my whole head, it's like I'm stepping into like a different dimension or something.
Oh, that's so funny.
Out of body almost,
Yeah, no, I haven't had that. I guess I'd have to like, now that I haven't tried yoga in a while or anything like that. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to like test certain things that I probably should, because I was doing a lot of breath work like 2 years ago, and I did have a few experiences where I'm like, wow, that was weird, but I haven't done those things anymore.
Oh, are you like, did you just learn it, or have you had a course or something in breath work?
For yoga?
For breath work.
Oh, for breath work? No, I learned it on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
I found a video on YouTube, and it was powerful, because like I definitely felt things, and for a while, like I felt like I was high, and I was like, yeah, and I don't know if that was around the time also when I like activated my thymus gland. Like for some reason I just never paid attention to that area, and then finally I got this I got this message through a session I was doing, a little more, I guess it was the Akashic records or something, a little more towards like the mainstream spirituality. That's when I was really just getting introduced to all that stuff.
Mm.
But I did get that important message saying that, yeah, there's the higher heart chakra. They said it like that because that's the way they called it. And it's like the lady, you know, was saying that, yeah, you need to focus on that area. That's what she said.
Oh, right, okay.
And so then I was guided to a video to like activate the chakra. Yeah, it was like, they call it, I think they consider it like the fifth chakra.
Yeah.
But then I, you know, I started learning about all the teachings, the Christic teachings saying it was the eighth, and then the Azurite, all that stuff. I'm like, oh, that actually sounds like it's resonated much better, like in terms of the way the information was put out there, and how it's like the source of all, like, you know, the crystal spiral. I don't know if you heard about this.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
But yeah, and so that was around that time, and so I did feel like literally high for days almost one time.
Wow.
So interesting. I would wake up and feel like I had had drugs. Like,
Is that entirely normal, like natural in a way?
I don't know.
No, it's just interesting because I know for me personally, like breath work is one thing that hasn't come naturally to me because there's some resistance there, but I know that it is good. Like I do, you know, deep breathing and stuff, but I can't sustain it yet. It's like my body's like, no.
That's yeah. I've done only things I really feel like if I feel like doing it, I do it. Like that's the way I go now.
I do love how we're all connected in a way to, well, of course we're all connected, but I love how we all are in the same pockets of people, if you get me, on like that we follow or who we're following. Like, I'm like, oh, here's my gang.
Yeah, although we are doing very different things, I think for now, it's like it still hasn't really merged into something, but I think we're going to be creating like little subgroups, maybe.
I think so. Like that's the intel I feel, is that we will be creating these spaces, because I don't know about you, I think we briefly spoke about it before, but I'm kind of like at this stage of, I've done a lot of things in my life and I have a lot of skills, but I don't feel any like huge calling to any of them apart from sound. Sound is like, I love doing it, but I still don't feel I need to really do anything just yet. And I'm not earning money. I have very little savings. I'm just living in my dad's house, and my dad is obviously, he's leaving this house because it's up for sale now.
Oh, that's why you have to leave.
Yeah, but I still don't feel anything in me that's telling me this is urgent, you need to act, you need to make money now. I don't have that. Yeah, I feel you. And it's like, for me, it kind of feels the same, but I'm like, I feel like I have a lot of pressure because I have my daughter, and I'm like, I could just leave somewhere and try to make a living in the jungle or something, kind of like what you might want to be doing. But I'm like, yeah, and what about her, right? And how is she going to feel about it? And she can't just come with me. I know you have to take her into consideration for everything. Like, what is the deal there? Do you like, what's the deal between you and her dad?
Well, we're not together anymore, so it's like, you know, like,
but he's going to stay in France, is he?
Oh yeah, he already bought an apartment and all, and so, but you know, I'm still renting, and it's like you, I don't have savings. Like I just have a certain amount in my account, and I'm like, oh, this is enough for such for this a number of months, and after that I'm gonna have to find a way to make money if I want to stay here and keep paying for this apartment, and it's just so expensive here. It's annoying.
Yeah, I know.
And even food, also everything, it's just too expensive. So I would love to be in another area, even if it was in another area near Paris where I could still see my daughter often, but then, you know, I'd have to figure a way to like the transportation and all. Anyway, so it's complicated, but like we were saying the other day, I'm trusting that there's something that's going to show up in my reality that will help me.
I feel like, because you're not the only person that, like, we're all seemingly, even though, you know, I don't have any responsibilities really, it's just myself, but for other people that I'm very close to, they're kind of going through a very similar thing where like we all have this feeling that something is going to change, but no one's really acting on anything. We're just like surrendering to it.
Mm-hmm.
But a friend of mine, she's in LA and she's separated from her kid's dad as well, and he's very much wanting to stay in LA. And there's this whole thing like with the two kids that they will actually want to live with their mom, but he's being really like, no, you can't. And she's like, I'm done with this, but I just don't know what I'm gonna do. She doesn't have savings. Like, it's like we're all in this like vice, like being squeezed to see what our limits are. Because I said to her, it would be so easy to give up now and say, do you know what? I'm going to go back to my 3D job. I'm going to go back to my 3D partner. I'm going to, you know, it'd be so easy to do that. And what we're doing is holding on to our trust and our faith that we will be looked after, you know?
Yeah, now that you're saying that, that's really funny, because I have had my ex in dreams and stuff, and I have the feeling sometimes that he would like me to come back. He's not dating anyone as far as I know, or anything. I'm not either, and we keep seeing each other, we keep hanging out, we keep taking our daughter to places together, as if sometimes it's almost as if we were still together, but there's nothing between us at all. And I do feel like if I said something like, hey, let's try to get back together, he might be resistant at the beginning because he got hurt when, of course, I wanted a divorce and everything, and he's been able to process all that and be my friend again, which is amazing.
Oh, that's cute.
He's pretty amazing in that sense, you know. He doesn't even if he holds a grudge, he doesn't act on it or anything, and he's super nice. So yeah, he's a real angel, although poor thing, like, we don't agree on anything else besides certain things with our daughter, you know. But yeah, and so I was thinking at some point, like, what if we got together again? I mean, like, that would solve all my problems, but I'm like, no, I can't.
That's like the great temptation, isn't it? It's like the apple. It's like, you can have all this, but are you going to be happy in your soul self? No. Well, I'm not speaking for you. But,
yeah, but that's true. That's so true. Yeah, it's like, that's not what you came here to do. And even if that's an easy way out, it's gonna just pull you back in, you know. It's like, it's because it's not out, it's back into the matrix, literally.
It's like, how many times in these multiverses have we given in and said, fine, right, I can't do this, I'm going back to what I had, you know.
Yeah.
How many times have we maybe said yes? And this time it's like, no, come on, we can do it. We're together. We're all coming together now. We're all going through similar stuff. So this means that this is a collective, global thing. And it's because as well, like, I know so many of us that are in integrity, that are, you know, embodying and doing all the good stuff that we're trying to do. Yeah, everyone's like broke. No one has any money. Like, people don't have proper places to live, and it's like, we can barely feed ourselves. It's like, shit.
But that's the thing, is like, we know that, you know what, I think it's like, it's just a matter of realizing that
it's a test.
we can have the income that we need. It's just that some people, I feel like, and I think it's me included, are working through money blockages.
Same.
Because we don't fully trust that we will be provided for, and we're still clinging on to whatever, like, oh, I have to save money here, I have to do this, and then all of a sudden, you know, what's been happening a lot to me as well is that I feel like we see money as dirty. I keep dropping coins on the floor when I'm taking money out to pay for something. It falls on the floor. Like, I feel like that's a representation of me saying, and I feel like this has happened my entire life, just I haven't looked at it consciously. I drop money all the time, and I lose money a lot too, or I spend money. So all of a sudden I get moments where I'm like, whatever I spend, you know. And it's like, we don't value money because we see it as dirty. So it's like, there's this message that we're sending out, like, I want money, but I don't want money.
I think that's what's been a huge blocker for us, for sure. Yeah, because I have, you know, I used to, I know this sounds really silly. In the UK, we had 1p's and 2p's. You've been over to the UK, right?
Yes.
In our money, they're like bronze, 1p's and 2p's.
I can't remember. I don't know if I used change at all when I was there. Well, I think maybe I did.
But small, and they don't feel very nice. And when I was younger, I used to chuck them in the bin. I just throw them in the bin. I'm like, I don't want them.
Like this.
Yeah. So I've been doing that all my life. just throwing money into a bin, like, you know.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I definitely had those moments where I'm like, oh, this, yeah, I don't even know why we need money. We should be able to just manifest everything, because that's what we used to do. We could just manifest things
I
instantly.
know. And like, I have my dreams and I'm like, I'm doing freaking this. So, you know, I'm able to like bring stuff straight through. But in this
Right.
world, it's like, it's so slow.
Yes, I know. Yes. So I think we just kind of need to surrender to that as well. It's like, okay, we're here. Let's be grateful, but truly grateful, not just make believe that we're grateful. You know?
Not like a child who's like, oh, I'm so happy about this. We actually like, no, you know what? In fairness, I have surrendered this recently because I've realized that this whole period of like not earning money and has actually allowed me to see all these like things that were within me that I held onto. And truly, I am grateful for the experience of like going from having a really high paid job to not. I am grateful for it because everything I had is gone. I've pretty much, apart from my sound stuff, I have nothing of, you know, I have nothing really in material possessions anymore. I've like can let it all go. So it's been a great, like, I don't know, huge lesson for me around money and being grateful for it. And I used to be like, oh, I hate this. I don't want to be part of this. Why are we using dirty money? Blah, blah, blah. But I've overcome that because I just see it as energy now. You know, it's just an energy exchange. That's all it is.
I think for me, I still kind of go back and forth with that feeling because yes, and it's like the, you know, that feeling of knowing it, and then when I catch myself, it's like, I feel about it this way. I felt this way about it, you know, one day, and I was like, yeah, I don't like money, and I'm like, wait a second, go back to thinking like the fact that it's just energy. So I have to keep pulling myself back to that, it seems like. And
it's a hard habit, it seems like, for us to break through this whole experience. But another thing that I did was that even with the savings that I had, if say for example someone did a course or, you know, someone that I follow, and I'm like, do you know what, I'm going to invest in that person and I'm going to pay for this, and say, instead of going down to, I don't drink anymore, but say for example I went to a restaurant and spent 50 euro or whatever, I don't do that anymore. Instead I give it to someone who's doing amazing work, and or even donating to them, you know, for the stuff that they're bringing through, because there's so many freaking talented people out here at the minute, just like doing stuff for free, some of them, and you're like, let me donate to you, right? And then I invest in that person. I see that more as a beautiful exchange, you know. But we're just I think we're all just like finding our ways to dismantle all these structures that just we won't use them from, you know, from now on, kind of thing. But
yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, it's been really nice talking about all these subjects. I can't believe we just really moved from dreams to money and